I mean, it's your money, it's your life, it's your dream house that you're gonna stay, potentially have children, and blah blah blah. So, you know, suffer a bit lah. Okay, now so let me share with you about choosing your interior designer slash project manager. Okay, since I have already been through my first renovation journey, right? So I kind of like know like how this is going to work, only to realize that whatever that they practiced like 10-15 years ago, they don't practice those things now. So I remember when I was talking to my chosen ID, I was like, you know what, can you make sure that you do this kind of thing? And then he was like, you know, we don't do that anymore, right? Like, we just don't. Like, there's this new thing called technology. It's been advanced, you know, because now that we are quite close. I remember at one point he was even making fun of how old I'm thinking. Thank you. When I was planning to choose an ID, my sister-in-law was heavily pregnant, so she was in the she had to stay in the hospital for a bit, so she had like some free time. She actually advised me to actually put my information in this interior design portal. It's called canvas.com. So you actually put like your name and whatnot, and then you can put like your what kind of style are you looking for. So I put like, I like Scandinavian, I like minimal, I like contemporary, blah blah blah, blah. And then they said, okay, what kind of budget are you looking for, like blah blah blah. Provide them with information on what you are looking for in an interior designer. So after I put my information in, and then they are very fast. They actually, somebody called me and said, hey, thank you for like, you know, choosing us, blah blah blah. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you a list of interior designers that you might be interested in. And then suddenly I received like WhatsApp messages from my potential interior designers that I could work with. I'm like, okay, so that's convenient. The very first person that I actually decided to meet up with, I thought this was the common practice, which is I had to actually go down to their showroom and then, you know, meet up with the person and then like have my floor plan. Coincidentally, when that day came that I was supposed to wake up and go to this person's showroom, which is like so far away, I decided to fall sick. And then I was like, I cannot do this, I cannot go and see this person. So I texted him, said, I'm so sorry, I'm like not feeling well, I think we have to reschedule, you know, something and whatnot. I think my message did not go to the designer, but went to the office did not read my message, and then I overslept, and then they were trying to reach me, and then I woke up, and then they had like all these messages, and then they were like, oh, it's fine, like we can reschedule. And then I'm like, you know what, I cannot do this. Like, is it okay if you guys can actually come to the site? Can you? And then they were like, okay. Why didn't I think of that? Like, for example, this is a resale house. A floor mat can only help them so much to see, but if they actually see the existing condition of the house, I think they need to come down and take a look. Because I was working weekdays, Monday to Fridays, so I have to sacrifice my weekends to actually meet with my potential project manager. So altogether, I met up with 10 potential project managers. 10 people, I have to make time for 10 people, and then one person you have to at least make like 1 hour for them to view. And then, you know, like if you only have your weekends left, so you want to squeeze in as much people. Like, I know at one point I met up with at least 3 in one day. So okay, one person I will meet at 10 in the morning. The second person I will give like some time, like okay, maybe 1 o'clock. The next person I meet at 4. Unfortunately, this is what you have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice a bit of your, prior to your renovation, you have to meet up with your potential project managers. So you have to make time for, you know, in my case, I have to make time for 10 people. There was one person that I met, and I think we took, it was 3 hours long. He was like probably going through, it was so long. So tiring. You have to, you have to, because you are going to entrust somebody. You're going to put this much of money in the hands of somebody who is going to actually manage the project of completing your dream house. You don't want this person to screw up, right? Unfortunately, this is the necessary evil you have to go through. Like for me, I decided to meet up with 10 because I cannot decide. That's just me. So okay, so canvas.com provided me with 5 potential project managers. So I make time for everyone. So I met up. The first guy was good, but he was so expensive. Even he himself said that I'm from a company that focuses more on design. So that's the drawback. Like I like this guy. He's too expensive, plus he focused too much on unnecessary designs. Like, dude, I don't need a 3,000 entrance feature. The second one was a hassle. The third one doesn't seem interesting. I felt that I was the project manager and she's the client. And then there was one which is no. The other one I met was the one that I met for like 3 hours. But I kind of learned a lot from him. Like, he even advised me on air conditioning. I haven't chose him, but he said, okay, when you fix the air conditioning, you have to make sure that the person come twice. First, he has to fix this wire. Okay, he draw the circuit wire. Wow, this guy is deep. And then he even draw like 3D drawings. And okay, let me just share with you. Can you see? Can you see? I drew this, and for whoever comes over and says, okay, I want my house to look like this, blah blah blah. And then they're like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, I learned from this guy. It took me like 3 hours of my time. So I met with these 5 people, and I don't know why. Suddenly I'm like, I haven't met that one. Like, cannot, bro. I went home and then I was like, this is too tiring. Okay, but we cannot settle. Don't settle, because one thing, it's gonna be expensive and you don't want to regret. So you have to put in the work. Too bad. I went home and literally I was just sitting down. I'm like, oh man, like how are we gonna do this? Like, because some of the project managers that I met up with, they give me like quotation, which is like, you know, just I asked them, so roughly what do you think? So I said, I have like a 55,000 budget, maybe about 65. Okay, maybe I can do 65 plus minus. One person was like, your house is in bad shape, I think we need like 100,000. I'm like, one person was like 80,000. I'm like, my brain just cannot think anymore. So I just took my phone. I was like, took my phone. Okay, imagine this is a phone. This is a phone holder. So I was like, how am I gonna find this? It was very dumb, very complex. So I was like, best interior designers in Singapore. That's what I literally googled it. Best interior designers in Singapore, and then it brought me to this website called Home Trust. And then Home Trust have all these interior design companies, most of them, and with reviews. Obviously, like, how am I gonna choose amongst thousands of interior designers, right? So I was like, whoa, there was so many reviews, and then there was so many bad reviews, and don't choose this company, like choose this company, My brain just cannot process anymore. So I thought, okay, let's simplify it. Whichever company that scored perfect 10, let me just ask these companies. So, and then obviously there was like 30 million crap. So I was like, okay, from the top of the list, I will just choose the top 3 that score perfect 10. So, okay, I will ask this company, I will ask this company, okay, just top 3, because there's just so much. And then one of this company, I don't know why, but he has so many good reviews. Like, whoa, sure or not? Like, how much do they pay for, you know, to have all these people say good things about this guy? Obviously, there are some who's like, you know, they went through a hiccup, but they make up for it, you know, blah blah blah. I'm like, wow, like, this is very commendable. And then, you know, I decided, okay, like, what, no harm, let me just give this person a text. I'm sure a person with this much of good reviews will be like the most busiest person ever, like probably will not even care about my message. So I was like, let me try. So I think I texted this guy on a Monday, and he only got back to me on a Wednesday. After I met up with 5, I met up with another 3, one more, and then another one I reached out from Instagram. So a total of 10 people. And then out of these 10 people, there's this one that I finally chose. Okay, I want to work with this guy, because when I met up with Benjamin from M2 Decor, one thing that I'm very impressed was that how honest he was. There was some parquet floor. He said, do we have to take out? Oh no, you don't have to, because he gave me the reason and everything. So okay, that's great. And I was telling him about this wardrobe thing. It's like, yes, you can do that, but you have to keep into account that it's going to collect dust. The upkeep is going to be too much on you, so you have to decide. And then I'm like, okay, that's quite honest. I thought, like, you know, like they'd be like, oh, okay, we can do this, and then it's gonna cost you like bomb. Then a lot of things that I told him, he keeps advising me like, we can do all these things, but you have to make sure that you can upkeep, you know, it has to be practical. And oh, like, this guy is really honest. And then I felt like a certain vibe that we can, you know, whatever problems that we are going to go through, he will be there to kind of like answer to all of that. After I decided to choose him, even when I'm like sitting down worried, I'm like, oh, I have to ask this about the bathroom. And I say, like, hey, the bathroom, blah, 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 like, what do you think? And then like 3 seconds later, he was like, oh, can I call you? And then it's like, oh, okay. And then it's like, okay. So from there, I know that he is very interested. One thing, he's interested in the project. He is very quick. Like, I will just randomly text, but like when I think of something, and he's like, oh, don't worry about that, blah, blah, blah. Wow, this is too good to be true. The good thing about Benjamin is that he always updates me. It's like look at the house. What did the previous owner do, you know? And then he will show me this picture and it will stress me out so much. I'm like, crap bro, like how? And then he's like, nah, don't worry about it. I was just updating you so that you know the conditions of the house. Let the project manager do the worrying. I'll just update you. But I was worried simply because I thought that the more problems that he uncover, the higher my budget will become. But we managed to stick to a very expensive $65,000 budget for a 4-room resale flat. Just to share with you, $7,000 goes into the hacking of the house. $7,000. What can I buy with $7,000 is a lot of money just to hack the place down. And it took like, I remember it took longer. It took like about a week to hack the house, to clear and everything, because there was just so much crap put in the house. It's like when I bought the house, it was like 2/3. When it's completed, you see the full 3/3. They kind of covered 1/3 of the house with like crappy nonsense. So it's just that you click with the person, so you know that, you know, when you are going through that journey, you can actually go through it smoothly. And that's what I felt with Benjamin. When the project is almost done, there were some things that I wasn't happy about. I don't really like this thing. Okay, I'll change it for you. Just as long as you're happy, then, you know, I'll do it. And then I'm like, great. So yeah, so I chose my ID from there. Okay, so one thing that I could advise you when choosing your ID, firstly, make them come to your place. Probably BTO could be easier. Like, you can just show the floor plan, and then because it's brand new, so maybe there's not much factor to look upon. But if it's a resale, it's like, seriously, bring them over. Don't go. Like, save your time. I had a friend who actually went down to see a potential design company, and she was so disappointed because of the service. Yeah, the service was really bad. The fact that you have potential clients come to your showroom, at least, you know, pretend to actually be interested. You have a potential client which is going to bring money to your business, and you're not even like bothered. Like, then why work for what, right? Secondly, don't settle. You have to go through the hard work. You have to go through a lot of burn weekends just to find the right person. This is going to be your dream house. You just have to burn your weekends. Like, too bad. Like, it's too bad. Thirdly, even if you have like your friends recommend like, oh, why don't you use this guy, you know, like, you know, we are friends, he can probably give you a cheaper price, blah blah blah. I know somebody from work, and he also does interior design and whatnot. As much as we are friends, I don't feel comfortable working with him on a big project like this, even though we are friends, you know. Like, we are friends, but we are not close enough. So I was like, nah. Like, he was even like, no lah, let me come down to your house, I'll give you a quotation, I'll even make it cheaper for you. I'm like, yeah, cheaper. I remember my first house with my mom, I had a friend from work recommended his friend, and then I met up with that friend. I just didn't click with him. He was like, I've done this so many times, you know, like, oh, this is like, I'm like, don't feel bad for your friend, feel bad for yourself. Really, feel bad for yourself. You have to learn to say no. Just because you are a friend with this person, and this friend knows a friend who's an interior designer, you and this friend, just because you are friends with this person, doesn't mean that you and this friend can get along, right? No, so don't settle. Save yourself, save the trouble, don't settle. I mean, it's your money, it's your life, it's your dream house that you're gonna stay, potentially have children, and blah blah blah. So, you know, suffer a bit lah. One thing I realized when I was telling the IDs about my interest to work with them, they like, can you provide me with a floor plan? Then I give them like a snapshot of a floor plan that I was given to by the agent, and then it was just like a snapshot. I didn't have like a proper soft copy. And then like some of the ideas, oh no problem, I will just buy it from, you know, they can actually purchase the floor plan. It cost them like $5. And then some of them was like, no, you have to ask the agent. The agent will have it. Can you just ask the agent? Then you can know the difference. A person who is willing to spend $5 of their own pocket money to see your floor plan, another one who keeps insisting me to ask the agent to ask for the original floor plan. Which one will you choose? So yeah, so that's my renovation journey that I want to share with you. So I hope that it can actually help you out in any certain way. If you really have like doubts or questions that you think that I can provide you with an answer, you can just leave it in the comment section. I really do love reading all the comments, and I try to reply to everyone, which is not a biggie for me. So yeah, a sliding door, like a barn door, cannot provide you with noise privacy. So yeah,